No setup has taken me more than 5 minutes to get going. Now, if you're building out a camera cart or this like DIT editing station, you can set it up in like 60 seconds. You can literally just open it, put the shelves on, and it's built. Hey everyone, Michael here with Film Bodega, and this is my new DIY workstation and camera cart and dolly. Does a lot. It's also a ladder. Here's the biggest issue. I don't have a lot of space to work with. I don't own a van. I can't just roll big carts into it. I need something that can collapse very small and can easily fit in the back of a little SUV. Now, I remember watching this tutorial about someone who built his own cart using scaffolding. And that's exactly what this is. This is just straight from the hardware store scaffolding with wheels. The wheels it comes with are not great. They're polyurethane, they're hard, the locking mechanism's a little tough to deal with. If you're normally just in a studio space or you have like even floors and you're just rolling back and forth, it's pretty great to like start with. I bought new wheels and I don't know if I misread or if Amazon said it wrong. They were way too big. Like, definitely not gonna work. I've seen a lot of YouTubers use these rock and roller wheels and they use an angle grinder to thin down the stem. Will I probably do it? Yeah, most likely. But what I think I love the most about this is how versatile it is. A lot of thought went into this. It looks a little thrown together because it is, but it's worked out in a way that I work, and it's also built out with Todd, because what I do is more AC work or grip, which is why these setups that Todd did look like this, and like when I set up the camera, it looks like this. With our feedback back and forth, what I eventually decided to do is paint the cart, because I actually bought this and straight out of the box, we ended up using it the next morning. We had a product shoot. We were shooting some light hits for the Film Bodega store, and the original cart in its construction yellow was casting back into the light. So for that initial fix, what we ended up doing is throwing some gaff tape and just covering up so we weren't getting that bounce back of the light. So I knew immediately it had to be matte black. So we just spray painted it. I sanded it down, gave it a couple coats of black, and then a clear coat. And the more that I've used this, there's little scuffs here and there. I think it gives it character, and I think it looks cool. You just hit it with a can of black every once in a while on the top if you need to. Not a big deal. What's great about using scaffolding is not only does it support my own weight, it has enough spacing for you to build out shelving. So I ended up buying some wooden panels. They're about 2 feet wide by 4 feet, and I just cut off the excess, and I actually repurposed that wood because don't waste your money. I then split that and then used them as these little supports here, so it locks the shelf into place so it doesn't rock back and forth. If you need to go a cheaper route, you could do something like MDF board. I went with a solid wood because it's a lot lighter, and I did want to make sure I wasn't just adding all that extra weight to this cart without any gear. But as I talked to Todd about his needs, you also want to make sure you have a soft surface for like your lenses and things like that. And what I ended up doing is I bought a super cheap area rug, cut that to the length of the boards, and just glued them. And but these carpeted shelves are more for assembly or just making sure things don't shift around while we're rolling a cart. And I kept one wood because it looked cool, and also if I ever need to just like drill something into it, I can totally do that. That's exactly what this top shelf is for. You can stick a baby pin like anywhere on this and then use F-clamps to lock it down. So then you can put camera on there, you could put lights on there, you could do all sorts of stuff. I could drill it into the wood, but I used clamps because I wanted the ability to put that baby pin anywhere. Now, I'm using a much lighter setup, a Blackmagic 6K with all of its accessories. Let's call it like 15 to 20 pounds. Would I stick an Ari or a red on this? Let's say if I had Ari or Red money, I wouldn't have the $300 camera cart, and those are the kinds of decisions you need to keep in mind. You also don't have to use all the shelves at the same time, which is why I think I love this so much. You can take one shelf out so you have extra room, or I've even taken the shelf out and just laid C-stands directly across the scaffolding support and used that to push around on set. So it is heavy duty-ish. If you're adding a lot of weight, especially to one side, you want to make sure that the top shelf is locked in. The setup I have right now, I just have some C-clamps on here. They go over the scaffolding, connect straight in, so this is super locked in. This shelf is not going anywhere. So I have 4 C-clamps on there. I have an extra spring clamp here, but that's just so I can hang my headphones on it. And then the monitor stand is clamped to the other side. Now, here's the caveat. So when you're spending thousands of dollars on a camera cart, you're getting thousands of dollars worth of camera cart. When you're spending like $200 on a camera cart, you're getting a $200 camera cart. I think all in all, after the variations, the cheapest you could do this is just straight out of the box, $104. That doesn't get you really any shelving, it gets you the scaffolding. But you go spend $30 to $60 depending on how bad lumber prices are right now. You can have this full setup with like the stock wheels for under $200. The cheapest build that I had mocked up came in around like $175. Now granted, I had a bunch of stuff, so you know, if you got to buy some spray paint or some glue or things like that, that'll cost you a couple extra dollars. But if you want to copy this exactly, I mean, you can. It'll just cost a little bit more. I'll put like a whole breakdown, both the description down below as well as the blog posts to explain like all the little things that you might not have around. So the other thing I forgot to mention is how compact this thing collapses to. So when you take just the scaffolding and you fold it in on itself, and this is using the wheels it comes with, it's like this thick. It's insane. It's super flat, and then you just put your shelves on top of that. When I'm laying it out in the trunk, it's literally just scaffolding, shelving, and I have a flat bed to load everything on top of, and I don't have to worry about like shoving things into places. It makes like a super nice way to fill up your truck or car or whatever you drive. Well, that's it for the build. If you build one like this, be sure to share it with us. We want to see what you guys make. Share it with us at Film Bodega. I would love to see if you make one, if you already have one, or what your DIY carts are. One of my favorite things of any like filmmaking group or meme account is when the crew starts sharing their DIY carts, because they're incredibly inventive and smart and cool. Build the thing that you need, build the thing that works for you, and I will see you guys in another video really soon.